Newcastle won, Barcelona too. Even if Newcastle lost this match, they gave a good account of themselves. I think in the first 20 minutes, Barcelona were under a siege. I'm telling you, they were under a siege. They could not play out from the back. Newcastle dominated proceedings. They pressed Barcelona back. Now they understand what it feels like to play in St. James's Park. That was a high intensity press. And then they dominated the first 20 minutes, of which they created lots of chances. And that is where their problem actually lies. They don't know how to finish off games. In the past three matches, that has always been their problem. They find it difficult. Even in their last match against Wolverhampton, it was the new striker, Bournemouth, that came up to score. Newcastle has always been finding it to find the back of the net after high intensity press, and then they dominated in the first 20 minutes. And chances were created, they could not take it because they didn't have a good poacher. They didn't have a pointsman. They didn't have a striker that has that instinct. Yes, Gordon was used to draw out that back line, creating chances for Elenga and Barnes to run through. But in terms of finishing, he wasn't there because he's not a striker. He doesn't have that natural instinct to move in, anticipate, have the good runs have good runs in the 18-yard box in order to pick points where the balls are going to land and then take his chances. He's not that kind of a striker. And that really affected Newcastle were brilliant as it has to do with their pressing. They took advantage of the high line, but their inability to take the chances when it mattered most was the problem for them. Unlike Barcelona, they absorbed the pressure. They started coming into the game. They started building up confidence, coming into the game properly, started dominating proceedings, and that gave them that advantage. Barcelona didn't have to create so much chances like Newcastle to take the advantage. That was a sweet cross from Kunde to Marcus Rashford. Boom! Beautiful header. Stretched it far the reach of Nick Pope. He couldn't catch that. And then before a blink of an eye, that was the thunderbolt for Marcus Rashford. What a goal. Brilliant goal. Well, he rightly deserves to be man of the match. That was one hell of a performance for Marcus Rashford. Congratulations. Well, Newcastle actually roared back, trying to find their feet. And then they put one back, giving them the lifeline. Well, I expected them to double up, to fight further. But once you miss your chances in the early stages of the game, you find it difficult to recover. The tactical approach towards the game by Newcastle really worked against Barcelona. Barcelona couldn't find the answer in the first 20 minutes. But once you don't take your chances, all those things count for nothing. But personally, on a very personal note, kudos to Newcastle. They gave a good account of themselves.